Hi guys, is anybody still there? Audrey sent me a message and it was my fault. I didn't reschedule the date over here, so my apologies. If anybody's still there, just wave your hand, but I don't think anybody's here, so I just wanted to say hi. I need to redo that for Thanksgiving, but if anybody's here, if anybody comes here in a short while, I can still kind of like stay around. So let me play some music here. Hi guys. I had to move the boxes to get here. I forgot to, and the knitting yogi was so nice to kind of like notify me, and I was like dealing with the electrician, trying to get the heating into place and removing a whole bunch of boxes. And this is the problem, is people just say, oh, it's a clean room, let's put this in a clean room. It's just like all the time I'm cleaning, and you know how bad this is, like with my OCD. But I don't think anybody is here. And Wasafi is here. Safi and I are here. Are you here? Are you here? So let's see when Knitting Yogi sent me the email. Why don't I even see it here? I saw it somewhere. Oh, there she is. Yeah, it was 20 minutes ago. I guess you guys got tired of waiting, and I don't blame you. So I'm going to just send a new request. Sorry that I guys missed you. It was my fault completely. I'm just this is how my OCD works. I cannot function normally when I am in mess, and this is what has been happening 3 months before I moved, because I was packing, or 2 months, and now because everything is in boxes. So I'm going to structure it for the next week, and next week is for sure. I just realized it's Thanksgiving and the contractors are here, so hence it's going to be really difficult to do it with the noise. I just have a little break. Oh, look at this, Kylie showed up. Hi Kylie. Hi lady. I didn't plan to go live, but Knitting Yogi was like, oh come on, people are waiting, and I just realized that I didn't connect properly, or rather disconnected. So hi. I don't think anybody's going to join though, but I kind of like waited to see if somebody else would, and I don't even know how to notify people that I'm coming. Oh, Lorna is here. Happy Thanksgiving. Yay. Like I was just explaining to the ether, I guess, how Knitting Yogi just sent me a message. I said you're not on, and I thought yesterday when I sent a message that it's all kind of like that you got notification, but I just realized, oh my goodness, I didn't cancel this announcement. So what happened, I was like cleaning the boxes, and I was just explaining that this is, my brain doesn't really work properly, because 2 months before moving everything was in boxes. I was like all confused, and now I'm still confused. I don't know if you can see it here. I'll show you a little bit of my place. It's all bloody messy in the boxes and stuff. I lifted the camera, but nothing is really showing, so don't know if it's going to go back to it. But then you see the boxes, it's like mayhem. It's really hard to function in that kind of like environment. So what I propose, since I'm here, that I can do a mini reading for those of us who actually showed up. But look at this, people are actually joining in. How did I change my mind? No, I didn't. The workers went on lunch, and I was checking my phone, I was checking my messages, and I have a quiet space, so I figure out why not to do it. So like, you have to thank the Knitting Yogi. She was like, come on, and I didn't even check it on time. So it was like removing, like the table was full of boxes. It still has a whole bunch of crap on it over here. And I was just explaining, this is kind of like what happens. They were doing trim, and when trim is done, because they still have unpacked boxes, they're just lifting everything off the floor and plopping everywhere. And it was just so bad yesterday that I thought, oh gosh, I just can't function like that. But I am here, so let's do it. Let's do something. notification is there, so I guess it notifies when I go live, so you never know. Maybe more people join. If they do, great. If not, oh, I came back to close it out, and here you are. Oh my God, such a lovely lady. I don't know what I would do without you, knitting yogi. So what I suggest, since there are not many of us, I didn't schedule or didn't plan anything for today, let's have something really unplanned. It's like only a few of us, so I will do the reading for us over here. So this is a challenge because they're different people. So these are the rules of the game. Since I'm reading for here my home, it looks very spacious for the fur babies. Oh, they are, like, you should see Tiger this morning chasing, and that's what basically I was just recording. I was recording Tiger, making sure Matrix and Safi are coming in. Ooh, talking about that, I better close the door, otherwise Safi is going to go who knows where. So give me, guys, just a few seconds, and I have to go around the boxes and just check where is Safi. I'll be right back. Sorry. There we go. Now I'm normal because Madame, everybody's like cutting grass. It was like so cold in the morning. Oh my God, it was like 0. Like it's like so much warmer in Toronto than here. So it really warms up. It's different. It's oscillation over here, back and down. And I need to put the camera kind of like to put my face on. It feels weird talking to the screen when I'm in this position. I'm just realizing how weird this is, but please bear with me. Work in progress. So let's see what I have. I came back to close it out. Your new home looks very spacious for the fur babies. It's very spacious and creative. We have moved for 2 months, still have boxes sitting around to be unpacked. It just takes time with the fibromyalgia drives me nuts. So I am a little bit tired because contractors, I can complain to somebody. These contractors are like, this new contractor is great. Like I have 2 of them. Hello. One is a painter and one is like kind of like doing the general work. And but they're like just showing up whenever they want, and sometimes that includes me being like with them, and I have to be there to assist. I cannot do really anything, and it's exhausting. So from 8 o'clock in the morning to 10 at night. So, and they're like, oh, well, you didn't move this, you didn't move that. Like, when I am exhausted and I work double full time, kind of a thing, right? So I thought you were going to have wood floors in this place we're renting, but they put in carpet, and my kitty tries to she's on the other side of the door. I wanted to show you, like, this morning I just like taped something, and that's what I want to do. Like, it's still work in progress. I was thinking about collecting the pictures and showing you, but I just posted this on Instagram. I'll show you the original thing here. That's Tiger making sure the cats are safe when they come home. Oh, it's glare of the window. I don't know if you can tell. So you can see how he does his job here. And he does it so well. Let's go this way. Then he plays cool here. Oh, I don't really mean it. Try to cheat the kitty cat. And you can hear the, like, I mean, lawnmower.
Get Matrix home. Matrix has to come home. Come on, get him home. Oh, Matrix is boxing. Very good, gentle Tiger. That's it. That's it. That's it. Good boy. Good boy. Good tiger.
Matrix doesn't like it, but look, Tiger did his job. He did his job. They are coming home. And I'll show you one more here. How Safi, this was just a seconds later. I call it a guard cat. Well, when Safi escaped, I was horrified, but like now I'm realizing that she kind of like knows it better. She knows where she is. She's an adult after all, right? Oh yeah, Tiger is 55 pounds at this stage. He's like a big dog, beautiful dog, and very protective. His character is fully formed. Yeah. Okay, so um, Mercury retrograde really sucks, but like for me, it is like the contractors, as I said, they will be 8 to 10. The problem is like the one who should start at 8 shows up at 10, at 2. Some days she doesn't show up. Meanwhile, I'm twiddling my thumbs, doing nothing. I cannot leave home. He doesn't even bother texting me, and they're all like that. It's just across the board. It's just absolutely horrible. I probably would be better if I paid somebody like tons of money, but since I'm doing a lot, it's just too much. So today, the heaters didn't come on, and I was like, oh great, did I buy the house without any heat? I'm installing mini split this upcoming week, but it's just like Jesus. And electrician found exposed neutral wire, which could have been a major fire hazard. It didn't create any burning or anything so far, and he fixed it, but you never know. Okay, I find also that these tradespeople, I don't know if this is your experience, guys, they're always saving you life as well. Kind of like that's kind of like interesting as well. So I'm planning for my grand return. This is still like kind of like piecemeal what I consider it. Because it's already 2 months renovations. I was planning 1 month, but usually the renovations are 6 months. But yeah, you decided to do it right here. Okay, good. You cannot lick your butt right in front of camera. That's not nice. So it's one day at a time. We are down to bathrooms. We are down to. The problem is like whenever I clean the room, they mess up the room. It's just like, right? But that's what you need to do with trim and everything, and then like sawdust everywhere. But at this stage, I'm trying to set one more bedroom. I'm kind of like moving them out slowly. I'm thinking like buying the yellow tape, and they say do not cross here. Kind of like, yes, I know it's an empty space. You're inclined to put stuff there, but for God's sake, this is the space I cleaned, so you cannot put it there. We have to keep this contained. I had one room on each floor that they could put their stuff, but it was hard to move around with how much stuff. And so anyway, it's coming close. I think painter, who is also very unreliable, he could have done the job in a couple of days, but this is like now 4 or 5 visits because he just does it in addition to his job. The same thing with the contractor. Yesterday he was here really putting a good day work, and this trim took much longer. And the bathroom was supposed to be finished, one of them, this week, and it hasn't been. And then now he was supposed to come today. This is your Gemini, guys. I'm sorry, any Gemini here, no offense to you, but you guys, when it comes to being reliable, you suck big times. And so this is not the only Gemini. I have friends Gemini who are just in and out of my life. So I don't know if you can even call them friends, right? They're like the best buddies when they're around you, and then they promise you something and they're just like not there 2 hours later. Same thing with this guy. Last night, oh no, I'm coming. I'm going to get his bathroom today. And he's texting me 7:30. Oh, I just have to pick up some tools. I have to do trim for somebody else. And then he tells me in the morning, it's going to be just 2 hours. I'll be back, right? Then he's not back. Then he shows up for an hour. Then he has to go again. It's just like, it's mayhem. So I'm just biting my tongue, which is not me. So it's kind of like a zen. This was sent to me to learn patience. The good news, while I'm tolerating him and both of them, that both of them are actually great guys. Conrad, the contractor, he is actually an engineer. He's very methodical, very detail oriented. The job is spectacular. And so is Kevin, the painter, who he's like really cool bearded guy, and he's very, very proud about his work. You should see that without any prep work. It's the lines are freaking thing. No, Lorna, I'm not in Ontario. I'm in New Brunswick right now, so which is west. I'm in a different time zone, and it's kind of like really kind of like nice, except the climate. I'm noticing it's much different. Climate is colder, and Toronto has kind of like flat temperature, like day and night are the same, which is really weird. It's kind of hard to sleep, and I'm getting really good night sleeps. So guys, mods, you're welcome to visit. You know that this is opened to all of you, and I have 4 bedrooms house. So like one master bedroom and one bedroom is a workroom. So I have still two, no, 5 bedroom house. What are you talking about? I have a 5 bedroom house because I made it. I renovated one spare utility room, if you wish, and I made it into a bedroom, and it's massive actually. So I'm thinking about doing maybe Airbnb, possibly, but this is still down the road, something thinking, right? So yeah, so I'm just kind of trying to do, yeah. Oh, somebody's coming back, I think. Give me a second. Just a second. If needed, I'll close the door. So this is my alarm bell, better than anything else. What's up, Peggy? Put that. Put that. Put that. I don't see anybody. Who dared to come here? Was it Conrad? Huh? Was it Conrad? Ugh. I am forgetting that I have Blink security system in addition to everything else. What else do I show you? Oh, this is how cold it was in the morning. That Safi got her little coat. She was wearing a coat, and I don't know who was at the door. I don't see anybody. And this was Safi being kind of like all wrapped in because she doesn't have an undercoat, so she's using me. This is Matrix looking out. Let me see if I can show you more house pictures. This is Tiger. This is not Matrix. This is some other cat, and he's like contemplating, but I lifted the window sufficient. Oh yeah, this is my backyard. Here, I can show you. Looking at the house actually from the backyard. I don't know if you can see it. I did this deck. That was the first project that was done on the house. It's still some days it's really warm. It's like a summer. This is how I wake up. Safi looking me from the above down because it's a little ledge just above me. What else I can show you? This is the sunset in like what I see this. I'm southwest exposure, which is like, oh my gosh guys, I cannot tell you, this is a study unbelievable in astrocartography, like how much this really works. And this is my garage. Will be my deck, my garage over there. And I don't know, oh, inside I can show you like the trim. Look at the job he did. I don't know if you can see it, but look at that amazing job. So that's basically what it is. So was it cold in Maine? It was like 0. It's like, oh my god, it's like 19 degrees in Toronto. Like I don't know how much is this in 0 is 32 Fahrenheit, that I know. So 32 plus 80 would be with 18 times 40 would be 70 in Toronto or something like that, right? So you can see it's a huge difference, right? So one day when international borders open, I'll visit. Oh, That would be awesome, Kylie. And let's put universe that she wins some kind of like money, and that would be so awesome. You have the place to land. You know what? New Brunswick is so beautiful, so beautiful. I just only regret is that I didn't do it sooner. I'm close to Prince Edward Island, which is another province in Canada. It's an island, a small island, but they're very proud. They have a bridge, 13 kilometers, which would be what, about nine miles long bridge that gets there. It costs you $50 to get through it, and apparently it's very quaint. I went once, and they turned me right back because I didn't have printed paperwork with me about vaccination. So off I go. I was just escorted with the cops. They didn't find me. They could have slapped me with an $800 fine, but nope. Still have Ontario plates, and I still didn't try to make an attempt on Nova Scotia. The regrets? Do I have regrets? Oh, there is no IKEA here. And you know what I love about IKEA? There are little curtain rods and curtains and some stuff at IKEA. Not so much furniture, but some small tingly stuff is like so amazing to have. So yeah, the hardwood floors on the main floor, but they're not hardwood floors. It's a laminate that I put downstairs because hardwood was just a little bit outside of budget. So astrocartography, guys, I don't know if you know, like, I mean, show me like why I had so many incidents and occurrences in Toronto, because I was asking myself like what's happening, like kind of weird, right? It's kind of like not my personality, but everybody seemed to be aggressive. And then I realized I was living on a Mars line, and when I live on a Mars line, that's basically what starts to happen, that uh, you're being challenged. Mars is like that Aries principle, right? Like, you know, Aries always finds challengers, and that's why Aries is the first sign, has to knock the doors down, but the doors don't want to get knocked down. And there is like this strife, right? So I lived on Mars line. Living on Mars line and on Pluto line is very difficult. Pluto line brings up all of this karmic debt that you have, and it's tingling that promise of karmic reward that seemingly never happens, or it happens just seems like normal kind of thing, right? So I know that Pluto line can affect relationships greatly, and Mars line as well, especially if you're a woman. When you're a man, kind of like that can look okay. But here, I am actually on the Sun and Jupiter crossing. So meaning the two lines are crossing, and Sun means being very authentic, and Jupiter is being lucky. And even though after everything I told you with the contractors is going slowly, I'm doing this, everybody who is asking me, how did you even find contractors? It's a shortage. You can't find anybody, not for this price. How did you, what is about you that you did it, right? People are very smiley. People are starting conversations with me. In Toronto, they would just slam the door in your face. Maybe that's just a symptom of a big city. That could be it. But I lived in big cities all my life. Moncton is the smallest ever. So I lived in Zagreb, which is about 1 million people. That's in Croatia. Then I lived in Toronto. Then I lived in Vancouver. Then I lived in Seattle. Then I live in Calgary. Calgary is also about 1 million. I think Calgary is about 3. I don't know, Seattle is a little smaller, but it's still a big city, right? And then I returned back to Toronto, which is now 6 million people, and Moncton is 120,000 or 150,000 with all of these corresponding things. You know what is cute? That actually the Moncton is like Greater Moncton area. I actually live in the place that's called Yep. It's a smaller segment of that little kind of like amalgamation. It's a city on its own, but it's kind of like fused. And Yep, Dieppe is spelled, has a logo. You know how cities have logo, and guess what the logo is? It's the star. It's like, oh my god, this is like so freaking amazing. So, and yes, we have 6 planets in retrograde, and Saturn and Pluto are finally going. Saturn and Pluto are going forward, and Saturn is always kind of like pointing out areas that really need hard work, what needs to be glued together. And I guess this was called today for electrical repair. It was only $50, and that could burn the house down if that was not done now. So that's really, really amazing. And Pluto is making us go through those life lessons and challenges and so on and so forth. So we're then going direct, things are going to get easier. Doors will get open. We'll be doing what we are setting out to do. So that's kind of going to look really, really good, right? So yeah, you know what? The deck is like so amazing. All my neighbors are coming and they're jealous, and I don't like jealousy. I don't like to provoke jealousy in anybody. I just simply did it because I like outdoors, and that's something I really got heavily deprived because my apartment in Toronto didn't even have a balcony. And just dressing up and going out is not the same as just simply opening the door and like you're like drinking coffee on your little porch. So that's kind of like important, right? So North Star or not. So okay, this is guys, since I'm already here and I already wasted half an hour of your time, so my apologies. But it's turning out okay. So when I went to check to see what Tiger is barking at, I also texted, asked Conrad when you're coming back. So he said, oh, I'm just heading home, having lunch or something. Yeah, this is like I'm stepping out for 30 minutes and this is an hour and a half later. This is exactly what it is. So what really sucks about it that I thought, well, I have contractors, I'll just, that was in my head, I'll just go around and explore the area, I'll come back and things will be done. That was fantasy. And reality is, and it's also Mercury retrograde, reality is like so many things go wrong or they need material, you need to go and buy it. Without that, they are kind of like not moving forward. So if I really want things to go forward, I really have to go, which means that I have to be available, and which also means that kind of like, I don't know if you want to call it wasted my summer. I really didn't, but I'm just really, really tired, etc. Right? So Barb, walk up to 60s, up to 90s in a cup. I know. I saw that. Even like in Toronto, it's going to be so freaking warm. This is so unusual for October. And here, I think Moncton is known to have really harsh winters. And I'm not scared of winters. They're not colder than in Toronto. They're just, I guess, deeper snow and so on. Even though when I spoke to people here, they said, yeah, we used to have, it was horrible. But I said, now it almost looks like the Gulf Current. Gulf Current originates in Florida and I think moves up coastally up to the shores all the way, I think, up to Canada, to Nova Scotia. And usually Nova Scotia, which is the province, another exposed maritime province, which is kind of shielding Moncton, it's having a really mild climate, same as the UK. So they don't have snow. You have Newfoundland up north, and they do get snow, which is weird, island, right? So Nova Scotia has this like really maritime climate with rather fog and whatnot, which also it's southern New Brunswick, but I am close to the ocean, two sides, like within 20-minute range, so that's kind of like nice. And New Brunswick has the warmest beaches in Canada. So let me see, is somebody coming, is somebody not coming? Oh, nothing. So yeah, and then they told me that New Brunswick changed the climate and it looks like we migrated toward that more of Nova Scotia, and people here don't like it. They prefer snow. I said snow is better than this ice, and ice kind of like goes on the street and it's all icy, and that can be really crappy. So we are going to see. Look at this, everybody's enjoying the weather, and we are enjoying it. And meanwhile, you know how the lobster is being cooked slowly, but it eventually gets boiled. That's what's happening. Meanwhile, we are just like a lobster. We are enjoying it and we are using it, and kind of like everything is going on. So guys, since there's 8 of us and I didn't plan, I'm just looking at my decks. Let me look at my decks. Do you guys have any suggestions what we do here? I'm just trying to see what I have here. This is Metatron. I have Lenormand over here. I have actually majority of the decks behind me over here, and I have Chakra, I have Romance Angels, I have what do you call it? Morgan Greer, I guess it's called. But I'm just trying to see if I can use a little deck that I didn't use in a while, because I don't know, did I lift it here enough for you to see my tarot nook that I built, that I asked Conrad to build? That was his first project. He was getting tested on this one. Let me lift it up over there. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it now? It's kind of like full of tarot books and tarot cards, and keep in mind I have like, I'm in 5 boxes still completely unpacked. So let's put it back over here, and let me pick something up over there. Let me see, do you have any suggestions? We are chatty, because I think that's what Lenormand. Okay, there we go. Let's do Lenormand. I'm going to do this one. Actually, I do have the other one somewhere handy as well. We'll cover a little bit more. So I'm going to do the spread. Which one do you prefer? I'm going to show you how cards look like on both. These are a little bit bigger cards. I just picked the Karma card. So these are compared to this guy. Here is more or less very similar to tarot. So it might be some, oh, look at that, I'm picking up the same freaking cards. What are the odds? Kind of tell me, what are the odds? I'm like getting all creeped out. So that means that the lady and Lily's are connecting, which means it's something sexual, something from the past. And of course, Lily's is Mercury retrograde over here. So these are 2 decks usually they have, Lenormand Pixie and Lenormand Under the Roses, that they use for clarification. So I can probably as well go with this one. Most of my clients who are swearing by Lenormand, they love it. Usually this is the one. Barb is like me, she likes this one. Anyway, guys, let's do the vote. It's like 10 of you, and let's kind of like think which way you want to go. So this one is called Your Lenormand. You are Lenormand. This is a German one. We're going with the German, or we go with the regular one. Welcome, newbies. Please subscribe. Probably gonna subscribe. Hi, Louis. I wonder if people probably do get subscribed. And I just realized I need to revamp everything. I need to revamp my website. I need to revamp my YouTube channel, because I'm subscribed like an individual under my name, Bianca, to my Cat Tarot channel. I even have the bell turned on, and I still don't get messages. So I have to figure out what is going on that one, right? So larger ones, Louis, and the second deck for clarifications. Okay, so we can do that. So I guess now we have 2 votes, guys, out of 8. Anybody else wants to chime in? So we can go with this. Let me. Okay. Let's do it. I should do a grand tableau, which this is the only concern. I didn't know if it's going to go in a grand tableau on this deck. On this desk. Oh, I didn't even know. I never read the book that came with this. And that's another thing, guys. Here equally speak English and French, and they just switch between the 2 languages like there is like nothing about it. It's just like freaking amazing. Okay, so I need one more thing. Let me see if I have it on the desktop. I just want to see. Just give me a second. This PC. Okay. Oh, I did Zen wallpapers. Kind of like it's really appealing. Okay. Is it this? Okay. I think I am ready over here. I'll just like squeeze this in. Perfect. Now this works. So I'm going to do actually reading for us who are here. And how this is going to work, as you might be surprised how this is going to work, I'll be telling you all the messages that I see. So you guys, the only thing that I really want you to asking you to do is, can you please, when this is a message for you, just raise your hand, either the icon hand raised or me or something like that. So if this is you, if you're claiming that message, ask me if you want me to clarify it further, right? So that's how we are going to do. Okay, so it's a Norman reading for the participants today. Norman reading for the participants. Look at this, like overwhelmingly like the German cards. So you guys have the same taste as me. That's amazing. All right, let's do that. Reading for the participants, and please, higher selves and angel powers, please connect us with your energy and send any messages that should arise. So the first message is mouse. It's not mice. It should be really mice in the regular deck, but this is mouse. So this message really talks about some damage. Is somebody kind of like going through issues, let's call it, where no matter what you do, you feel like you are, I guess, creating problems, or the problems are created for you. It could be some kind of like infectious illness, and I don't think anybody here has COVID. Somebody did say, what was this lady? Somebody did say that she had COVID, but it's about loss or parasites or stress or theft or worry or waste. So this is maybe a message to all of us that we really need to talk about it, because this is like talking about the things that actually really nibble away at us. As you can hear about my complaints and nagging this morning, oh, I cannot take this anymore, but I have to like, I mean, kind of like grin and bear kind of a thing, right? So maybe like we all have like this kind of cross to kind of like a bear or something. It's also something about being uneasy, something that is really causing us stress or worry. I kind of like talking about this card, right? So in love, if this is kind of like something about love, or this is like something on your mind, kind of like lots of things are adding up at this stage, right? It's just like, sometimes it's a major poo-poo that hits the fan in a relationship, but sometimes like it's just like, you know what, the straw that breaks camel's back. I can't do it. We are doing this. We talked about it, and so on and so forth, right? In a career, it could be some whole bunch of setbacks or kind of like wasting time of a sort or something like that. So it looks like, since nobody's claiming it, this probably is clearly on me, because I'm going through that, because it's somebody who is unsettled. That will be me, and right now I'm just kind of like still doing it. But good news about that, it's kind of like fast card and comes and goes. So it's not something like a mountain that you're saddled with that you really need to worry. So let's continue. Hi Lois, you said, beautiful queen, had some time since I've gotten a reading from you. Hi, because your readings are timeless. Oh, well, you just contact me. Guys, you know what? That's another thing. My readings are timeless. And I'm just learning as I go. It's not that I know everything. And just like one of my clients pointed out to me, she said, Kat, are you aware that this reading you did for me has actually a completely additional meaning to it? Because she is taking notes on all of that readings, and she orders all 4 quarterly and annual, and then she compares them and she goes in the details, and she goes, are you aware that like everything you're telling here, it's happening, it happened? And so it's kind of like really good to hear. But also, what with Lenormand, I usually read up to a year, and like in her reading it was like actually in 2-year timelines. So that's kind of like another thing that I realized I can even see it there. All right, so I'm ready to position the cards and put it down. So it's going to be 8 per row. I'm doing a grand tableau. So we have clover, we have moon, we have the lilies, 3, 4. I guess I have to, I don't know if you're going to be able to see them when I squeeze them here. Ring, that's kind of like was my worry about these bigger cards and different deck. Ring, snake, rider, and ladder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ugh. One more. And of course it's probably, I think it's my tripod that is not balanced, and that's why you see this completely weirdly. You know what, let me just put the cards down, and then I'm going to try to deal with my tripod once for good, because we have like this kind of like relaxed session. You know what, I really like this session. This is kind of like not planned. I'm showing up. It will be better if you can see my face. It will be better, even better if I can see your faces. I don't know, maybe Zoom calls can do something like that. That could be fun to do something like that in the future, because pandemic changed so much. This technology is like so much better, kind of a thing. Okay, 100%. My gosh, Carly. Oh, I cannot claim 100% even if I want to. Okay, let me just see. Usually when the messages come from him, usually, like, I mean, he just doesn't let me know at all when he's not coming. And when the messages come, then that means something maybe on the way, or he needs to buy something. And so this is exactly it. You do something and then somebody says, oh, I need to buy this, or I need to buy that. So let me just check this. My apologies. Oh, the mice is showing up in something that is coming out shortly. So let's see the message. And the message is, oh, the message is from my friend in Toronto. Okay, so my apologies, but let's try to settle this forever, because you know how I'm annoyed when this is not balanced. Why did it break? That's another thing, like so much of my stuff is scratched and broken. Okay, so that's going to be tough, because I need to wait. I need to wait 1 minute to see how my motion reacts. Oh. Is this what it is? Is it this? Okay, so let me try to extend the leg a little bit here. That's better. Except I don't know how to make it. Oh, that's not bad either. Okay, so you guys are missing just a couple of cards there. Oh my gosh, I just can't believe it. You actually can see this normally. That's fantastic. Let's see, this final thing is, oh, so far so good. My ruler is here. Oh, I'm still watching my thing. I'm still there, but it's still better than it ever was. So hey, you know, getting things done. You see, it's Mercury retrograde makes you come back and do that. So again, guys, I'll be doing the reading, and you need to raise your hand when this message is being sent to you. If not, might be for the people who come later. But I was really focusing on you guys carrying the messages. So this can be you, it can be your friends, it could be just simply a group of people that you can reach out to. The message is coming. There's like a message about something karmic. There's like some karmic motion. This is the heart of the matter. We have cross, we have the star, we have the bird, and we have the stork. Interestingly, the stork is kind of connecting to Ten of Cups. In tarot, the stork is about move, the stork is about happiness, the stork is also about renovations. So you can see how this is also including me in this reading heavily. It's like something karmic. There's like something that is meant to be. So for me, for example, maybe everything that happened so far, which cost me dearly, maybe it was all because of this exposed wire, because it would just burn a house down eventually. And you never know, you're just sitting on a time bomb kind of a thing. But this can also mean that we are kind of closing loose ends, right? Because there is like also some of you who might have a man. There's like some kind of influence in your life, which could be father, which could be boyfriend, husband, brother. It's actually playing a role, and that person is somebody who karmically you wrote in your chart when you came to this life. I mean, keep in mind the karma chart is like MRI, right? You're seeing the slice in time, and that slice lasts as long as there is like not disturbance to the pattern. And when disturbance happens is when something major happens. You have been shaken to the core, something happened, and now like you're entering this new slice. It can happen in a day, it can happen in 6 months. Usually that shakeup is not severe and happens with a smaller rumble over 6 months. That's why I say to people, get your karma reading every 6 months or so, right? So here I see there's a motion. We have like two birds, if you wish, and then we have the star kind of like looking up. The cross is really, really interesting because cross can mean different things to different people, right? And this is in the house, like, I mean, that talks about worries and pregnancies. I don't know, like, if somebody has a shotgun wedding that can be seen over here, maybe a male or the person who wears the pants in the family. This is not necessarily the gender kind of decided, is kind of like doing it. I was just binge watching Squid Game yesterday. It was interesting to observe these Korean gender roles and how they still have that kind of like rather strictly combine what girls and boys can do. But here it almost like tells me that somebody who is kind of like who is a decision maker, who is more balanced in the relationship, is the one who is creating this decision and saying, I need to settle down, sort of a thing, right? Because look at this, right next to it we have a child, which could mean it's a child that is involved in a situation, or it could mean that literally that person thinks that their partner is a child. That can be seen that way, right? So another thing are the corners that I look here. So we have clover, we have garden, we have tower, and we have ship. So there is like some sort of, I would say, separation. There's like something that needs to, I would say, maybe not end. Like here's like more you can talk about ending. It's the end of that motion. It's the end of expansion. It's now coming down to kind of like settling down kind of a thing. Where here it's kind of like really interesting because the clover in itself talks about luck. Garden talks about networking. The tower is government, weddings, separations, divorces, kind of thing. And it's also falling in the house of the moon, which is the business-like attitude and kind of like something you want to inspire. And then there is a ship and there is like a motion. So the ship to me is like, I mean, a big travel. It's around the ocean or something like that kind of like happens, right? Which is really, really interesting. So now we have, and this is also could be a move. So somebody here clearly, and I still don't hear anybody claiming anything. But somebody here is moving, or the move was significant. And this is also, no, this is a man. Where is the rider? A rider is here. Rider is also a move on its own. So interestingly enough, we have two faces. We have a female and we have a male. And they're in a situation, let me try to move it a little bit toward me. Just a little bit. They are not in envious situations. Like usually when you come in the first row, you're calling the shots. Second row would be, okay, so, it's a progress. It's a kind of like, well, actually that would be excellent. That would be kind of like normal life. Here would be like, okay, I'm getting by. But here and here, it's kind of like you're getting seconds. You're getting sloppy seconds if you kind of like wish, right? And I moved it and I messed it up again. Okay, so I tried to move it again, and I don't know if I move it to the right side. We'll see in a second. So woman is in a really bad position. For a woman, she really goes, of course I moved it to the wrong side. She's going through some karmic reset of a sort, right? And it could be a financial reset. Look, it's kind of a blockage on all of the sides. So the mountain above means certain issues that will be delayed or challenged. I guess I had to move it on the other side. I forgot it's a mirror effect on cameras. So everything is the opposite of what you think you should be doing. And let's see if this is kind of like making it. Then we have this whip. Remember, whip came through as one of the significators initially in the shuffle. So the whip is important. The whip is in the house of the sun, though, and that could mean that there is like a dedication or wish, and that really didn't help much. That is dedication or wish of getting healthy. Maybe some of you are starting the exercise. This is becoming kind of almost like you're ordering yourself to do that. You kind of like want to deal with this in a much more and better and productive way. Okay, sorry, I'm putting it like that. So you can see entire spread, right? That's why I think in the future I'll have to use the smaller cards so they can fit better on the table. The mountain is in the house of the lilies, and the lilies also came through. Remember I said woman and lilies are connecting, and clearly they are. Woman is in the house of the cross, and mountain is in the house of the lilies. So where the lilies itself are positioned, lilies are in the house of the ship. So again, this also can refer to Mercury retrograde, guys. That Mercury retrograde is bringing people to our life, or even if those people are brought sometimes in the form of thoughts, and you're thinking about them because they're thinking about you, and things really need to kind of like move forward. I also see that some of you, or some of us, sorry to say, are dealing with financial reset and kind of like trying to position ourselves and try to see how we can stop any leaks in the finances, and how can we reorganize the budget and set ourselves up on some kind of like really good footing over there. Women are paying, as I said, some karmic debts, and that's going to be for a while. It's going to be for next 4 months, because look at this, it's the mountain and it's the cloud, and that's possibly this confusion and stuff. But keep in mind that these are diagonals, right? So this is kind of like what, if you're going moon, we're going the bouquet, the star, child, and this. So it looks like there was like a really nice path coming to this spot, but you know how the sinus curve goes up and down. Well, right now we are just, I guess, on the rock bottom, which is not a bad place to be. It's kind of like when it's going down, it's highly noticeable because you're still kind of like holding on to successes. But then when we see it's for everybody individually, so you need to say, yeah, that applies to me when kind of like you feel it this way. But now, like, it's actually going to start coming up. So if you start feeling already, like, I mean, you know, somebody stepped on the brakes and then kind of dealing with this or dealing with that, then kind of like that's the reason behind it, right? So what I see here on this hand, look, we have the sky in relationships. So some of you are cutting off somebody, and that's going to happen between 2 and 6 months. There's like somebody who brought you disrespect and issues. I think you were a little bit maybe even ashamed about certain things that happened. Also ashamed personally that you have dealt with a person with, I guess you're deeming this person as disreputable character kind of a thing. And interestingly, that is like about this house and a tree. It almost like feels like the family stepped in, and family said, are you sure? Are you really sure? We love you, but are you really sure you want to go in this direction, kind of a thing, which kind of like we kind of like pushed away at the time. But now the family is stepping in, and could be also this can also signify inheritance, guys, as well. This can mean when the relationship dies, it can talk about literal death, right? Because look, it is mirroring actually the coffin on the other side, and this is in the house of the stork as well. So this is the change, and the stork and coffin, or the birds and coffin, can signify a real death of somebody, and that could be cardiac arrest, and that could be somebody who was born in the sign of a Leo, I would say, or even somebody who is a dog in a Chinese horoscope. So which years would it would be? 1970, I believe, 1958 and 1984, I think, would be years of a dog, and that could be some kind of loss. Also, it's really interesting that there's a sun and a moon, so like somebody here lived really progressive life, and this is very confusing because this is falling in the house of the sky, right? That's what I'm saying. It's connecting to the heart, one way or the other. So it's cardiovascular system of a sort, and something that is going to be suddenly discovered if you wish, right? So then another thing that I have is like some of you are going to hook up with the people from the past, and for some of you that can actually end up being even a commitment. And even though I cannot read this now as one person because like there are like 11 of us over here. Oh, Barbie, sorry, just noticed it. Which one was it? Let me know so I can clarify it and zoom it on that. So that's why I'm kind of like telling you all of these things are a little kind of like vignettes over here. Then I also see that this kind of commitment being made can be jeopardized a little bit, if you wish, with somebody who, there's like somebody in somebody's family who is either faking to be sick or is, you know, like, I mean, when people hold people to themselves by inventing sickness so the other person is responsible not to leave them of a sort, and kind of like somebody, oh my gosh, you had cardiac echocardiogram yesterday, but this, oh, was there a problem that kind of like somebody warned somebody, because the coughing comes before heart, but it's still connecting, so you didn't die, so it's all good. Kylie, I already rejected 3 people from my past these past 3 weeks, because yeah, this is showing clearly, and it's people from the past that really longing this connection. This is kind of like really interesting because look at the emotions coming through, pouring through, and there are lots of either promises or there are lots of cheerfulness all of a sudden where they didn't display those character kind of like strengths when kind of like they have been around. Childlike inheritance, trying relationship again. Okay, so let me give you the rest of the messages and I'm going to start clarifying. Then this cluster here, guys, is kind of like somebody's taking a new path. So that can mean literally a new house, but this is a really, really good omen. Of course they're going to be okay. I'm feeling they're going to be great. I think you have murmur of some sort. That's kind of like I'm picking up on it, but like it's nothing. I think with yoga you're going to fix it. Or you have low blood pressure, which is better than high blood pressure. She's not really necessarily hypochondriac here. Hypochondriac is somebody who thinks they're sick but they're not sick. This is the person, for example, who will always, oh yeah, my hips and my this, which, but when you observe them, you really never notice that they have any issues, kind of a thing. I have a friend who, oh my brain, I cannot lift this, oh my brain, can you help me? And when they're not watching, when you just pass by their house, drive by their house, you know, it's not that you're stalking them, you see them just doing gardening normally and everything else. So this is what, I don't know what a word would be for that. Maybe I'm lacking my English or like English vocabulary here. You guys can maybe help me out on this one. Kylie, you're describing a family member who plays on, that's it. It's not real. This is not freaking real. This is like completely fainted kind of like stuff. Maybe somebody's saying because of sickness they cannot travel somewhere. Maybe that's also kind of like the messages some of you are getting, kind of like coming into play. It could be having something to do with that. But this, I want to tell you, it's really good message. So this A can mean inheritance. So this is like mirroring the moon. The letters mirroring the rune, which means some emotional business to do, and the house is in the house of a bear, and bear is could mean a parent, generally means mother of a sort, but it can mean a father as well, but it also means huge financial fortunes and huge financial engagements, and that actually is going to be very, very healthy over here. But also when I look at this house and what is surrounding it, like, it's kind of like almost looks like it's women here, and I think we only have women here today because Chris, I don't know if he was even here before. But woman here is supposed to get to it, but it's still going to be some kind of hurdle to go over. Because look, the bear is right next to the woman, and the bear is in the house of the anchor, so that's the stability and base that maybe some man was providing. And all of a sudden it kind of like feels like somebody opened the Pandora box. Look at, we have the key in the house of the key, no less, right? So this is like, I mean, for me, multiplies the meaning. Some other readers say, no, it just annuls it. No, for me, multiplies the reading. So somebody opened this Pandora box, and you see this vermin running every freaking where. And maybe this is good. Maybe you just, where was that whip? Remember the whip that came through? We just like need to crack this whip to get rid of crap around us, chase everything away that actually serves no purpose in order to get where we need to get. And maybe we are deciding who stays, who doesn't stay, because this is in the house of the mice, right? The fish, and fish is usually a really, really good card, right? Fish talks about money, and this is in the house of the money, right? So somebody was sapping this money, or maybe we were a little bit reckless about the money. You need to kind of like figure out. But this was for females connecting to karma. It was something maybe even childish about us. But if it is, now we know it's a time to fix it. It's time to kind of deal with that. And we are doing that really, really quickly. Mountain means we are a little bit suppressed. I kind of like see what they call it, the pancake effect. You know you have to do it. You know you have to lose weight. You know you have to eat better food. But, tacos, I want tacos, right? Like, just completely you're blind at that stage. You're completely doing kind of like nothing, right? So that's kind of like a bizarre thing at that stage, right? But there is like, because look, the kind of path is pretty much already opening up in the present. So it's kind of like not seen from this mountain and clouds. It's just a foggy day, and you're thinking, I don't want to travel because the travel is here. I don't feel like we're going. You're yawning and I want to go, right? But then you get to your senses. Then you start thinking, you know what, I better start activating. It might feel like a little bit of a space where we feel lethargic, we feel immobile, and as soon as we overcome this, which can be between 3 weeks and 3 months, I would say, sometimes mountain extends this entire reading, and that's why it's 8 raws, but the mountain always extends it for 3 to 4 months. That's kind of like how usually I see Lenormand kind of like lasts for a year. Oh my gosh, I'm glad that you're picking up, right? So I was typing there, she said that I'm just, oh, Chris is here, look at this, I heard you made appearance and slept in. Sleep on the devil. I was just telling, we don't have men online, Chris, that's hilarious, right? Oh my god. Like, you see, I can wake you up just by thinking about you. See how scary this is when we guys think about each other, and how much influence we can have. And that's why I absolutely love these lives. The group that comes all over the world and from different walks of life, like we are so supportive of each other, and it's almost like it's energy feed that is kind of like a supply. It's like a blood transfusion, but it's just energy transfusion, so it's good. So Chris, I'm doing, you missed the first hour of the movie Clueless. Okay, let me put you really quickly to what happened. In the first hour, for the first half an hour, the host didn't show up. The princess didn't show up. So Knitting Yogi said, never mind, princess, come over. Your people are waiting. What are you doing? And princess thought, oh, I just sent a message yesterday, and I thought this is just going to be good enough. I completely forgot about Thanksgiving. I told the workers they can come. And I completely forgot, the princess completely forgot that she actually did organize live. And Knitting Yoga is like, WTF, what are you doing? And I removed the boxes and I do it. It's the first half an hour you didn't miss. Second half an hour, we were chit-chatting of a sort. And I was complaining about my renovations and showing some kind of like pictures from my deck. And then I started this Lenormand, which is for everybody. So I am just simply relegating messages, and there are a few messages that are showing up. Some heart issues over here, some trouble is showing up significantly of some sort, some karmic lessons are showing up. It's showing the male is the one who is actually going to be showing stability or wanting something palatable, wanted something firmed up, wanted something where there's a hope of a sort, where women who are like weeks, who are really not running the show in their own household, because that has changed as well, right? Needing to go through some kind of karmic lessons over here. So Louis, I have no energy, can't figure out why I gained 30 pounds over this pandemic. Well, Louis, many people are in this kind of boat, and thank you for reminding me of that. Let me mark this down, because I actually started myself on a health regime, and it's working very well. So I thought, and you just reminded me, I should probably do a little bit of podcasts about it. How, guys, would you feel about podcasts that you just hear audio? How would you feel about it? About some other thoughts, about some other coaching things? Pandemic 30, freshman 20, pandemic 30, middle age 50, spread, and that kind of sort of things. What pandemic did to us is it's just like made us tap into our energy. So weight gain really means that you needed some nourishment, and for the first time you actually seen sometimes that nourishment comes through healthier ways, like going for a walk, and sometimes we give ourselves food, but it's still nourishment. And that's where we go wrong about judging about weight gain, because currently right now I'm way too heavy, and I'm actually just losing weight without actually any effort right now, and I completely figured out why and how to do it. But it's not just weight, it's just like simply how to kind of like balance the life. I'm still confused, and I still kind of like don't have complete clarity, and that's simply because of the boxes and everything else unclear. But that part I can really talk about that. So hopefully we kind of like, if I didn't mention anything to Chris, Chris, you need to raise your arm or something if this is messages for you, so that way we know and you acknowledge these messages coming to you, because I don't know how this really works. Do we have angels? Do we have spirit guides around you? Like, I mean, I'm not genius. I'm just simply telling you the messages that I'm getting, but they're for you. Creative, I like audio. I don't have a particular place. I get podcasts. I'm not sure if there's an app that helps you organize them. I have to look into them, how to do them, because I like audio, and I know on YouTube I need to just put a picture that is a placemat, but I will see if there's a better place. I generally don't like making you jump from place to place to place, because I already have Instagram and Facebook that I neglected, and Twitter that I don't even look at, because secret, I hate social media. YouTube is exception, because actually you can learn things on YouTube. So I think mostly I'm just going to put it on YouTube. I'm just going to call it podcast series, right, or something, and it can be just simply me talking about something that I find interesting, instead of like making it a visual presentation. But what I find for me that podcast is sometimes useful, I like audiobooks, so that way I can listen to it while I'm driving or while I'm walking. It's not requirement staring at the screen, which sometimes can make me tired. So eat to live, don't live to eat. Well, don't shun the food. Food is great. And I was just thinking, guys, if you put it in perspective, what people used to eat like kings, you can just imagine they had the best of the best of the best. We actually eat better. So it's just amazing that we can really do that. Oh, here we go. Okay. What's up? Let me check my thing. Is somebody actually coming back here? Who that? Is Conrad back? Let me check the parking. See, it's my little blink, and it's not really working perfectly. But no, Conrad is not black, so I don't know. It was a false alarm. So, see my little kind of like observing observations. And let's see if there's anybody at the front door, which could be delivery, simply Amazon delivery. Just like takes forever. They can already take anything they want, and no, nothing. My plum that is in front of the house is already losing its leaf, and that's the first tree that is gone probably in the entire neighborhood. So let's see what is going here. Where did I lost the thread? Yogi, what is happening? What did I miss here? Why is everybody sorry? Let me back it up. Have low blood pressure. I saw that. Well, I'm not feeling sorry for that. Like it's just like it's just like a normal part of life. She's like amazing at yoga. She can fix it and balance it out. So hey, we are all kind of like doing things as well. Oh, the sordid affair might be mine. Oh, there it is. That's what it is. My doctor without borders turned out to be doctor without boundaries. 6 weeks after he left me, got fired for hitting on a patient. Holy smoke. Oh. That could be it. That could be somebody who is like probably trying to get, I don't know why this is happening. I mean, I know that like it's normal when you're such a close contact and such a, like, I mean, intimate thing, but yeah, after it was 2 years ago, other people knew he was a bad apple except me. Big learning karmic lessons. Ooh, that sucks. So you know what? Tree is a doctor. This is falling in the star house. Star, where did we see it? It's here. It's falling in the garden house, which is expose in the public. That's it. So now, he's a star, if you wish, in a way, but it's not in a good way. Like the garden is like in the coffin, so he's getting buried pretty much alive because it's right next to it. That can mean hospital too, actually, now when I look at it. Holy moly, Yogi, if this is you, then this really impacted your health severely. And there is this harsh cut. It's just kind of like, it's maybe feeling of yuckiness. Oh my goodness, what was I doing with a creep? And I see now people, yeah, I'm sorry about that, because when you're the last one to learn this, it feels devastating on so many levels, and that really sucks. So sorry about that. Let's see, what else do we have? Congratulations, Lorna. I missed what I need to congratulate you. Where are you? Let's go back. Lorna. Where did I miss it? Lorna. Oh, why am I not seeing your put, Lorna? I'm so sorry. Oh, starting a new job. Yay! Is it during Mercury retrograde? Be careful. Be very careful, because go and read your job. Let me see. The job would be the moon. Where is the moon? We have the moon here. It's in the house of the luck and happiness. So you're really happy about your job. But again, even here is showing Mercury. So this is a message for you. Mercury retrograde is going to come to redefine something. So go and read all your job description over there, and just to see what is your weakest link. Make sure you work on it, because this is what this is showing here in this is the whip, I think, right? 8, 9, 10, 11. That's right. The card 11 is whip, but it's combined with the flowers. So if you whip the flowers, you crash the flowers. So your luck might run out. So this is why it's telling you need to kind of like check the stuff. And I would also advise not to be overly open, like transparent with people, because that can come to cost you, because the heart is in the house of the skies, right? This can be used against you as usually, right? Kind of like what is basically done. He messaged me last January and wanted to come by for coffee. I ignored it. That's what I'm doing. He lost his license due to alcohol abuse after that. Ooh, but when you put this in perspective, that people do the crappy things as they did. Like, what happened to me? I gave to my good friend. I guess not the best friend, even though she was the closest to me, to put her in charge of my move. So I left Toronto and I said, you just observe the movers, you take the pictures, and please don't pack these things that I didn't unpack, like some lamps, some computer, because they take a better care of them and they are not in boxes. And so she decided to ignore what I'm asking, because what the hell I know. I just moved 11 times, so she knows better. So everything that she put in boxes broke. But that's not what hurt me the most. It hurt me the most that she was opening my mail and that she stole from me. That hurt me. And she just didn't count that. And not even because of her, I got another friend of mine with locks to put locks on a truck when he was leaving, because I actually wanted to protect myself from a mover. And my ex-friend now didn't kind of like count on that, didn't even see that happening. She wanted to probably blame everything on the mover, and yet the mover couldn't come to it. And mover gave me $500 back for scratching a whole bunch of stuff, which, yeah, it is his fault, but it's also hers. And you don't put lamp in a box, you don't put computer in a box, right? So one friend less in life, that's kind of like what happens, but that was meant to be. And I decided not to get upset about it, which probably would upset me. When I seen my mail that she collected being sent to me, every single mail was open, and I thought, why did she have to go and check my cell phone bill and my correspondence? And it was just violating. So that I wanted to talk about, that ex of yours and the karmic lesson, because this is in the core of the reading, that we actually experiencing some karmic circumstances over here. If you can withdraw yourself from a situation and how that impacts you, then you can understand how that person is actually dealing with their own karmic load themselves. Usually when something like that happens to that extreme, this person is probably very ambitious. I can tell you right now, this person is really high achiever. This person wants to climb social ladder. So if you really think about it, karmically they're actually very advanced, because they have chosen this life to deal with any crap they have to pay for in the past life. So this is coming in the form of living quote unquote shitty life, right? So you get these kind of like cards handed out to you, and unfortunately there's a lots of collateral damage which is affecting us. But the whole point of, and this is why karma reading is really helpful, is like you see these things happening and go, I know, I saw that happening, and I am taking a different route. Because for one lady, we even saw death repeatedly coming in these karma cards, and I kind of like tried to, it could be the end of some phase and this and this. Of course, you never go to death, right? And then she came out, she said, Kat, let's be frank. Because she said, I had other readings and they predicted my death at this age. And it was repetitive. I was getting lots of readings for her once a month or something. And I said, I'm so sorry, I generally don't want to really say things like that, but yeah, it is a possibility, but it's also a possibility of reworking your path, that you don't experience death. So there are like 4 exit points that I am talking about in karmic readings, and this means you write in, you can say, I'm 6 years old, I'm going to get polio, I'm going to die. For example, that's the first karmic point. And then you say, you're 6 years old, well, we have a vaccine for polio, you actually still want to live, and you get the vaccine, you don't get polio, right? Then you have maybe second one written when you're 51, you're going to have a car accident, and you, on the day of the car accident, right, you're like lying down in a hospital and your spirit is leaving your body, and spirit is saying, okay, if you want to take the exit out, you can just stop right now here, it's over, you don't have to deal with this life anymore, because the other side is pretty pleasant, except you don't have 3D experience, right? But then the spirit comes back, and you know how people come back and they always report renewed zest for life, and that makes sense because they still have the third and fourth. And most people just exit on the fourth because they want to take this ride as much as they can. But some people just find it too much. Like that's why you see kids being diagnosed with terminal disease at very early age. They're just very sensitive and they just want to leave as quickly as it's possible, right? So let's catch up with the things here. creative guru. How horrible. I'm sorry. I don't understand why people do things like that. Well, I don't understand either. I mean, she stole my camera, she stole my laptop, my both computers were broken. I had to get like the laptop she stole. I was actually offering it to her. That's why I'm trying to even understand that, but I'm not even upset about it, really. I just mentioned that because this is kind of like a part of this karma that we are shedding. And I really think because I moved from Mars line to Sun line, I am just not allowing this to be a cloud on my sun anymore. It's just a freaking money. If that for her was worth the friendship, then there was never friendship, right? And I just chuck it up to losses, and that's all there is. And I didn't even report it to the police. It just, I'll erase the phone number. That's all there is, right? Lois, I had two very close friends last year that had to completely cut out of my life. I'm so sorry with the friend. Guys, don't worry about me. Literally, as I said, I mentioned in the passing, it's a financial damage, but no more. I made everything up. I mean, repurchased the stuff. It will happen anyway that I will have to get the new things, and it just happened a little bit earlier. But to me, bringing somebody like that, because I was willing to even pay tickets for her to come and visit me because she's not in a great financial shape, I'm now relieved of this burden, and I don't have to go around somebody who sleeps until 2 o'clock in the afternoon and lives very unproductive life, right? So it was somebody who has lots of disabilities, who is sick, but there are like really advantages to my situation as well, right? Ooh, Lorna, my flight was canceled this morning. Oh, you see, it was meant for you to kind of like come and do it. Jane, call my weight gain, COVID. Oh, just moved. Where is it? COVID belly. That's very cute, actually. There you go, Kylie. You said the same thing. COVID cushion. I know, it's so weird. Anti-bikini. We just have to set up like this Rubenesque new beauty kind of like a standard as well. And eating yoga, it's a time for lots of us to rid of people to harm us. It's just like it's not a trend. Friendships are not trends. Friendships are timeless. It should be timeless. And when friendships are trends, I mean, as I said, I have some people in my life who are so much fun. I love them to death, but I would really not call them really close friends because they would just disappear for a month and you cannot even call them, and you text them, hey, let's chat. Oh, I have no time. Like, clearly they bring a new boyfriend in life, and this person is like more important than anybody who was with them for 10 years, and they are not even aware that they're like putting other people in this situation. Or there are also people like that who just get somebody and they don't need anybody else. And it's just like for me is like to decide what to do with that, and I'm just deciding I am I am just not considering you a close friend, but I will gladly chat with you because you're fun to chat when it's time for it, right? And that's right. And for these bad people, it's so easy when they show us who they are. It really happens. And that's the key, I think, Kyla, that you're talking about. There's no right or wrong choice, because not every situation that we are going to have, not every connection that we are going to have is going to be karmic. But sometimes people are pushed to act karmically. So what I mean by that, let's say you wrote in your chart, you want to, for example, codependency, it's my thing, right? It's kind of like my whole therapy is based on codependency, is you want to get rid of these kind of problems, and you want to have a productive relationship, not a relationship where you feel less, or where you feel that somebody's gaslighting you all the time, that it's just like it's not flowing, and why it's me, why it's not working for the other people. And sometimes you just want to deal with that, but your karmic partner that you would want it to kind of like attend to it, that you wrote from the past life, is maybe living another life on a different part of the planet. So what basically happens is that your energy is right there. You created the placemat for it. So you're literally materializing the plate. And so the spirit comes in kind of like in almost like possesses, if you wish. Not the best choice of words. It's not possessive. And it happens to us as well, that we sometimes act like that, completely out of our character, right? Because we need to deliver the destiny of somebody. This happens when you go, ooh, you know, I feel bad about what they did. Kind of like that's those confessional kind of like things that people used to go to the church for it, right? So this is kind of like what happens, that we are acting like a conduit for that karma chart to be delivered. And that person is not a karmic connection, but is really acting like one. How do you know? Is when this person is out, you go, thank God, thank God, thank God. Good riddance kind of a thing. But person is a karmic connection, you feel like longing. You do feel longing because you're recognizing this is somebody you cross many paths with, right? And you kind of like really wanted them a little bit longer in your life, right? So that's important. So let me go and clarify a few cards over here, and so we can see what's going on. Let's go with this karma since we spoke about it a bit. So the cross over here that talks about is kind of like worries and pregnancy house, and it can be some conversations about it. Could be about a commitment, and it could be about a choice as well. So there is a crossroads, which we actually have here as well, and it's in the house of the fox. So it could be career-wise decisions that is happening for somebody here as well. It's really interesting. This is connecting with the cross, and it's clearly affecting women more than men here as well. So crossroads is always talking about different opportunities, and it's kind of like where you really don't know which one to choose, and you always feel that you picked the wrong one. You always feel, oh heck, I should have done it on the other side, and so on and so forth. But this is about some kind of commitment. It's something that you're feeling very, very nervous about. Let me just get one more for that, and instead of one more I got 10 more. So we have the birds conversation about the emotional impact, about loyalty. If you're maybe uncertain about any of that certain things don't flow, and the kind of like their shadows. Hi Safi, lots of cards are going to mess the entire table now. Huh? Are you going to mess the entire table? Are you going to say hi to everybody? But then there is like this tower coming, and I was wondering about the separation and somebody just being tired of crap and off you go and I don't need it anymore. And that kind of like talks about it. It was like actually almost looks like to me a healthy decision. There is like talk. Let's have a talk. Is this emotional working for me? Can we be, are we compatible? Can we be loyal to each other? Yes or no? So if there is yes, then maybe this goes in a direction of further commitment, because the tower can mean that as well. I mean formal commitment or a formal separation. That can mean both ways. That is really happening. So it looks like that was, I usually never get 4 clarifiers. That's maybe because we have a bigger crowd over here. Oh, Lorna, you signed your offer before retrograde. Good. That then take back everything that I said, because that's not applying anymore. That is the key. I want to see the sky and the coffin over here. So let's see what is with that. The coffin. Ooh, again, holy moly, heart attack. But this can be the end of relationship as well, because this heart and sky and heart and coffin, and it can be literally sharp cut of the heart. Can mean operation, heart operation as well. But if that's the case, the sun is showing up, so something is productive coming out of it. So you see, heart was here after, but now it's in the same position, and this also wants to come out, and it's clouds. It could have some issues, but minor ones. And also the blue part comes toward the heart. So at the time that issues come, like you're going to be out of the trouble if there are any kind of like problems. It almost like sounds to me that somebody will go to the operating table, or there'll be issues with the heart, but that's going to be resolved. Or somebody's going to be really panicky over there, right? But I don't know. So there's a trip of some kind of man, and it could be a long distance trip if you wish. Gosh, this dog looks weird over here. Almost doesn't look like a dog. So let me see, what is this ship and man? Look, it's mirroring this whip. So angry man angry woman. I can see some clashes over here. I absolutely can. But I'll take this back. Also, this can mean sex, and it can mean kind of like strangers in the night getting together, having sex. Nothing wrong about it, guys, but you know, COVID precautions, stuff. Let me not be a mother, and that could mean that. So let me just check that whip over there. Anchor. Whip and anchor. What do I make out of it? It just again, and this is in the house of the sun, right? So sun and whip is actually a good combination. It just talks about cleaning the dust, making things better actually, right? So it's not a negative connotation in this stage. And maybe after things are done better, kind of like feeling of, oh, okay, I feel correct now. I feel this is done properly. I feel I can sit here. I'm enjoying this. Kind of like that is what is very, very important, right? So, Lorna, yeah, I look forward to the future as well. Aquarians are all about friendship, community, and connection. Yes, we are, but we are more on that on a global scale, right? Like when somebody wants to come to you on one-on-one, it's like you're aloof, and that's why we are called both aloof and both and humanitarian at the same time. It almost like doesn't fit, but this is why it is. It's just kind of like, no, I want to make a change on a big scope, so hence I'm on a YouTube thing. But you need to train yourself not to just be up in the clouds and just to ground yourself, and you need to work through your own sign with all the negative parts of the sign, which to me would be disconnect from mankind and just being almost like professorial and academically kind of like approaching the subject, which is, come on, go down in the trenches. There's a person on the street that needs help, and I always, I know some people hate this, but it's really almost selfish at the stage that I give money to people on the street, to everybody, young, old, even to people I think they could wash the windows or walk the dog and get the job. I still give them $2, $5, whatever I have handy, right? And as I said, selfish is, I start noticing whenever I do that, that something incredibly good happened to me. So it's just amazing karma in action. So give it a try, guys, right? So Yogi, we all have choices. What's meant for you will never pass you by. But Yogi, I feel that happened over there. I feel that you, since he's a healer and you're attracted to that healing thing, and we sometimes think that this is going to be applicable to the rest of the lives, but sometimes that quality is not applicable. It's not transparent, transferred to the other stuff, right? But what you need to learn is that you are good yourself, that you really, almost like, it sounds to me like the intuitively that he was some kind of crutch for you, and that you had to learn to be fully on your own, that you're fully able to provide something, and that was the lesson out of that, right? Louis, yes, we did lose our account, and I'm going to need to look for another job after the first of the year, so I'm a little stressed out and nervous about that. And Chris, I'm taking a road trip with my cousin who lives in Arizona this month. So that's the trip showing up, and that's, so you're going to Arizona, you're not flying, right? You're like, yeah, road trip is not flying. So that would be Ryder. Where is Ryder? Where did I see Ryder? Come on, now this is a man. Oh, Ryder. So Ryder is, the key is with the ring. Wanted to show here. Something really important is coming for somebody here who is listening in the next 3 months. Really important. And I think this really talks about marriage and loyalty and kind of like all the really firm thing. And that's what I like about these people here. Oh my gosh, that's another quality I noticed. In Toronto, everybody is like a player. Everybody is like, no, I'm too cool. No, I'm not dating anybody right now. And look at my shoes. And oh, no, I just don't want anything serious. Here's the opposite. Here's everybody wants something serious. Everybody talks about their wife and a girlfriend and how much they love them. It's just like, oh my god, they moved to paradise, kind of a thing. It's just amazing, except everybody's taken, right? But other than that, it's still kind of like very well organized kind of a thing. All right, so let's see the woman. What is saying for a woman? woman is a happy camper, and this is kind of like opening for a woman. It's housed in the rider. So even though there are struggles, it looks like day to day things are going to be nice and comfortable and flowing. But let's see, what is this mountain? Mountain is in a house of the lilies. So it can feel weird. It can kind of like mean that you cannot have an orgasm. It can mean that you having a difficult sexual relationship or lack of sex entirely. It's kind of like dead, or that you are having sex with somebody who is bald, or somebody who is having a gray hair, or salt and pepper kind of a thing. That's kind of like the weirdest thing about this combination. Or that somebody who is hiding somebody, or you're having a illicit relationship, it's possible. Or that person is having a illicit relationship that you are not. That could be it, that you are not clear about it, and that's maybe why there's confusion. So let me see this cloud over there. The sex thing was, and that's more or less for women. Chris, over here, it was showing that the women, some women are not going to be able to be sexually pleased, or there are going to be really difficulties, or they will not be able to achieve orgasm, or they will not be able to be sexually pleased, or they can be sexual problems, or somebody might have another person in the group, and it's going to feel weird that way. But you see, the cloud needs to be cut. So once when this confusion is resolved, things are going to start to flow, and that is going to be kind of like a little bit better going forward, right? So yeah, it feels great. Do it. That's, you know, we are not in the 18th century and frowning upon that. We are all adults over here. So he's an old store handyman. Ooh, he is an old store handyman cat. Yeah. Somebody who can fix stuff. I have 2 left legs and 2 left arms when it comes to fixing. But Chris, I have to tell you, helped me a lot. I don't know if you're aware that at one point I flooded my bedroom in Toronto twice, and the parquet floors lifted, and Chris gave me the remedy, like to a T, and just bake the stuff, dry the stuff, plant it back, you'll be good to go. He saved me the money. I just followed the recipe and everything worked. So you see, you never know where the help comes from. All right, so let's see this move over here, or trouble, or renovations of some sort that I see here is the writer. Yeah, it's a move. It's somebody's moving and renovating their place, or doing something that is, this is, could be investment property of some sort here as well, if you really look at it. So let me see the snake, which is in the house of, remember that we were talking about somebody faking their disease? That is kind of like Munchausen syndrome. You know what Munchausen syndrome is? Like, you kind of like, somebody's really sick, that you know somebody's sick. It used to be a mother and a child, but like it's now spreading a little bit further. So mother would tell the symptoms that are of the child that is kind of theirs, because they can observe them, but it could be anybody close to them, and that's kind of what could be this person over here is doing for their own gain, because they get attention, or they get to keep somebody around them, this kind of stuff. So this is the key of something. So they are connecting, they're holding somebody, quote unquote, captive, I would say. They're holding somebody in a relationship, and that's not going to last very long, because look at here, somebody's breaking out. Look at here, somebody's breaking out. Somebody is so freaking fed out of it, and somebody's really, really fed up with this. Big times. Let me see that right over there. Yeah, yeah. That's going to be, karma is meeting this person, and so this is the problem. So that sometimes we deal with the person who is doing us harm, and then we engage, and then we are all of a sudden engaged in this karma, we absorbing their karma. When you do nothing, it took me forever to learn this lesson, and you kind of like step out, like I just stepped from my ex-friend of mine. You let karma deal with them. So okay, you just step out of the way and say, here karma, off you go, and karma is dealing with them. You have to do nothing. Versus engaging in that, karma is saying, oh, I don't have to, I'm not needed here, they're like already dealing with this. And then you're like basically you're wrestling with a pig, right? And that kind of like goes nowhere. So let me see this financial gain over here that I really, really see happening. It's again, it could be something connecting to the trip, or could be something overseas, or could be something connecting to anything that has to do with the sea, a sea industry or travel. I don't know. I guess if we, you know that I'm not giving financial, legal, or health advice here because I'm not really expert in this. But all I want to mention here is my observations. Kind of like, again, I'm not giving you advice, but cruise lines have been really down because of pandemic. So it's almost like a sure thing buying stocks, right? From cruise lines, they will go up, and they will go up. That's just too big industry to allow itself to fail. So that's kind of like what I see here. Somebody really, really cashing in on this one, right? So the story would be Bitcoin, right? If you wish, if I'm going about investments, but that's all I'm going to say about that. Kylie, I'm too comfortable being on my own. Not sure what that's a good thing. That's wholeness and loneliness, comforting, discovering. I really think that's very addictive, being on your own. So there's like no debate or anything. I'm kind of like in the same space. It's really addictive. It's just like almost like I'm jealous, or I'm getting really upset if somebody wants to step into space. And I don't mind people around, even these contractors being here around, but it's a different situation. But if somebody would want to date me and move in, I will go, okay, let's step on the brake over here, right? So let's see. Good news all around. It look like a man. But strangers are my only prospects at the moment. Chris, you're hilarious. Chris, once you meet them, they aren't strangers anymore. You see, like Scorpio, right? Who would tell this to strangers? So that's, oh my gosh, that should be the line for a movie. I love it. It's something like that they need a video would kind of like deliver. Kylie, I like to think I'm comfortable in my own company, so comfortable that I don't want anybody to mess it up. Well, that's good, but also I don't think that anybody is like kind of like making this as a final decision. It's sort of like opening a space, and it's kind of weird. The older we get, the slower we are in relationships, because we feel uncomfortable with ourselves. We know who we are. We don't really need relationships for, let's say, financial reasons or procreation. It's kind of like, hey, I really want companionship, and hence this companionship has to happen slowly and kind of like in a way without any pressure. And some people don't like that pace. Some people like it faster. And then you need to let them go, unfortunately, kind of like when this happens, right? Okay, so let's see this bear over here, which is in the house of the anchor, which is like that financial news that is happening. It's happening in the next 3 months, guys. Yeah, healthy. So look in your expenses, look at your finances, rebudget them, budget them, remove the infantile parts of yourselves. And that infantile parts could be, oh, I don't want to deal with that later, and da da da. Remove it, address the issue head on, communicate what you need to communicate, reorganize, negotiate a lower interest rate if you need to. This is all concerning some repositioning over here, and that is really, really important, right? Because there's like something here that is brewing that has been happening maybe for 9 months. And look at that. There's like, child, and the stork keeps repeating, and the stork is, talking about move and renovations, and it's kind of like 17, which would be just akin to the star in a regular tarot deck, if you kind of like wish. And I don't know if you guys don't have really that happening in your life. Maybe babies of some sort, or the child talks about something new, something that is starting, something that didn't really form yet, and then the stork comes on top of it. Actually, that could mean promotion now when I think about it, and that would kind of like make sense over here, that money is coming with that as well. But that promotion may come up with relocation, guys, as well. So just keep this in mind as well. That is really happening. So some kind of change is arriving soon. I can see the next 3 months, but you need to do some groundwork, such as looking into everything that is a drain, if you wish, over here, right? And so the home is really nowhere close to that stork. So it's not necessarily home renovations, but it could be renovating your life or new ideas, right? So stork, we kind of like usually think about delivering babies. So but it's more to be delivered than a child, right? So that's why kind of like a look everything around, kind of like what is coming, right? So there's like some kind of like wellness that I see in the situation. For example, when it comes to love, it's kind of like going to the next stages of relationships, and something needing to be make a change. So if no relationship exists, then kind of like we need to look in the other areas that stork represents. But as I said, this can really mean some kind of additional responsibility, or somebody maybe gives you a house key of a sort, somebody who has kind of like his finger on the pulse of life, kind of like things are getting not necessarily serious, but kind of like that's kind of like adulting, kind of like a thing. Somebody, or maybe some dealing with somebody kind of like tall, because both of these cards suggest somebody tall or somebody who has really, really long legs, if you wish, but also somebody who is graceful at the same time. So anything else, guys, that you want me to clarify over here? What do you think? Let's see. Um, Kylie, I think comfortable. Okay, I saw that. Kat Lorna says, Kat, I was aware of Mercury retrograde when I received my offer, so it's done right away. Good stuff. Beer goggles. I'm too independent, intimidating, apparently. Kylie, it will be interesting to see astrocartography. Intimidating only happens when you have somebody who doesn't get their way, and then they call you names or something. I had a first contractor that I have hired. He had some red flags, but since I'm moving to a new environment with a new culture, right, which is a mixture of French and English over here, I was trying not to overreact, even though there were clearly red flags. So yeah, he kind of like had a chip on his shoulder, the guy, big times. Quite the opposite of long legs and long and tall person. And it was showing. He was talking so much about him being short and being mistreated that frankly was none of my interest, none of my thing, but it was all that mattered to him, and he was reading people through that filter entirely, right? And I said once when he squeezed into very narrow spots, I said, oh my God, like, I mean, you're like a fish, you get through. And he said, oh, you're offending me. Just like, kind of like when people carry this karma, like it was almost like an open sore for him. And eventually it just got too hard for me to even tolerate that. So, and of course, they tell you you're intimidating, which you're not intimidating. It's just them. And kind of like that finger kind of like goes one forward and four of them backward, right? So my oldest daughter is trying to have a baby right now, so maybe that's kind of like what he's talking to about that, because I see the stork repeating and repeating and repeating. I don't know what the hell is this all about. Most of us don't want to have children over here. It's just kind of like it's enough, but that's maybe what it is. Seriously, is like, I mean, there's like some commitment. Somebody's saying we need to go to this next stage, and everything is happening. So that is really, really interesting. So I'm on temporary lockdown. In which way? That way. We are actually on lockdown here. We have Thanksgiving. I think it's officially Monday. And guys, it's not like anything in the US. In the US, I know you guys have this like freaking big production. The whole week is taken off. You're taking your Thanksgiving very seriously. And you're like, yay, it's an extra day off. I can do my stuff. Kind of like, and nobody's really taking it seriously. So we just get an extra. It's always on Monday. So always glue it like a long weekend, and that's all there is. And I found out that in New Brunswick, actually, there's an extra day holiday. It's on November 11th, the Remembrance Day. I don't know if you guys have it in the States. We kind of like honor the people who have lost their lives right in the past. However, the holiday that was supposed to be the 30th of September, the new one that introduced, was not voted in. It was something, I don't even know what it was. It's kind of like remembering the natives and nations, and something like Remembrance Day or some sort. But Remembrance Day is 11th of November, so it was called something else. But in any case, that kind of like was not observed. Not even in the government employees, which usually they get much more. So, Kylie, no longer afraid to call it as I see it, can pretend cat. Nope, that's the right thing to go, because before we wasted so much time by hoping things and people will change, and they never do. So, unless you guys have any questions, I'm going to pull the cards and kind of like wait. Let me just check my messages to see if anybody's on the way. You see how that would be? I would be now sitting on the porch. I'm so glad that the knitting yogi kicked me in the butt and said, "Come over." And she didn't say that. She was very, very nice about that. And I will be still waiting for them and not being upset, but just again having another realization, such a beautiful day, and they're just wasting my time. So they probably see this beautiful day, they take day to themselves, and that kind of like being relaxed is something that actually does bother me, because I still have this Toronto kind of like thing, and you do that and kind of like go forward and so on and so forth. So nope, no, not a single message over here. So we celebrate Veterans Day in the States, but when is your Veteran Day? I think you have it in May, right, or something. Memorial Day, right? I think it's called in the US, we call it Remembrance Day. It's in November, but here I think everything other than, I think, April, except if maybe it's Thanksgiving. Easter. Easter is in April, but then 1 month in the winter or spring is without holidays. Why don't we have a holiday every month? I think that would make so much more sense. It'd be easier to get through the month. Somebody explained to me this is not good economically, and that explanation never made any sense. How can one day harm the economy? Because usually holidays are made to make economy boom, because you go and spend money on the holidays, kind of a thing. So, are your Veteran Days November 11th? Our Veteran Days November 11th. You're like in Canada, Creative Quarter, right? So November, or is it? Yes, this is for the States. So I don't know. I'm so confused right now. And look at, we had really lovely chat today. This was just amazing. I'm so glad. Kind of like this all literally stars aligned. It was just, I think, 20 minutes. I'm delayed from her email, and I was like, you should just send me WhatsApp message, Knitting Yoga. She's actually the only one who connected to me via WhatsApp. So guys, if you wish, just got me there, but you have to understand that I'm not that very chatty either. Kind of like send some stuff, but anyway, my plan is, and that might not happen soon, to kind of like show before and after, to show you what I've been through and what were my ideas. This is a little bit about my interior design. I have a vision what I want this place to be, and it's almost like putting the puzzle, right? And these people are questioning everything that I'm doing, from the choice of the paint. Are you sure you want this? Are you sure you want this? But I kind of have this vision and putting these puzzles together, and they're coming closer and closer. The core is still not there. You still don't see the picture. I see it because I know where I'm heading. They don't see it. They cannot see the visual that I see. But when I get to it, then I want to show you kind of like the inspiration, what they had, the vision that they had, what they had to deal with, and what I got in the end. So go from there. One card message for the room, I can do that. And which cards do I want to pick for that? Let's pick something. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. I don't know, Barb, it's lots of work. It just, for somebody who's not patient, who is a little bit slightly OCD, it's a major crapshoot kind of a thing. So let's see. Woo! Victory and success! Yes, look at that. It's freaking awesome. The sun is, like, we are like almost evoking sun. There is like, energy coming toward us. We are celebrating. We want everybody to know. We are claiming this. This is like proverbial, kind of like we are on top of that horse, and kind of like nothing can stop us. But this is so much better, because here we see kind of like something that was going out on a limb, which means you can fall flat on your face in the situation, but something really worked as a result over here. Well, Barbie's birthday is coming up, right, on the 15th, if I remember. So is it yep, there you see. So that means Barbie is going to have the birthday just before our next live. So let's do that early. Happy birthday to Barb. Happy birthday to Barb. Happy birthday, dear Barbie. Happy birthday to Barb, my master moderator. Yay! I should get like the sound effects and click on clapping. I'm going to do that. I've seen that on Young Turks. I like that. And except it's kind of hard if you don't have the button to punch. So with the smaller table, I have to organize and try to figure out perspective and how to do it and kind of like move it forward. So guys, I love you. Thank you so much for being patient and waiting. And I'm glad that YouTube at least did something right. That they actually sent notification that Princess showed up, albeit late, but that she showed up. So we'll see you. I will see you next Saturdays for sure. So look, we actually managed to get it uninterrupted because I thought I'll have to wrap it up when the contractor showed up, but we just had a beautiful, beautiful time. And now I'm going to go in a beautiful park with Mr. Tiger. I want to show you this picture. I took a picture of it when I discovered it a few days ago. I discovered it. There are a list of things that I really wanted to see, and that was like one of the things that I wanted to go to. Where is the picture? Oh, there it is. It's called Centennial Lake. It's in Moncton, and that's it's amazing because they have the lake, they have the trees, and they have what they call it, aerial adventures. I don't know if you can see over here. The stuff is built in the trees, so you can go to this huge, enormous park, basically climbing, zip lining, and they have this organized 3-4 times a day that you can do that, which I can't. Tiger wanted to do that here. I'll show you, Mr. Tiger. You see, you have to climb up to this. You have the wall, and then Tiger Mom, let's go and do that. Yeah, great. So Tiger is unfortunately very now having a separation anxiety. In Toronto, I could leave him behind in the apartment. He was okay with watching after the cats. He's not okay here. He's losing it. So I'm feeling a little bit being on a leash with him, but hopefully this is going to stop kind of like when he starts feeling more comfortable. So love you everybody, guys. Have a great week, and I'm looking forward to seeing you. Barbie, have an amazing birthday, and I love you too, baby. Thank you so much for the help. Thank you for everybody showing up. Knitting Yogi, thanks for pushing me into this. This was actually amazing. Oh, your eldest turned 20 on the 7th. Holy shit. You shouldn't feel old. Oh my gosh, you're so young. You should celebrate that you had kids early, madame. That's all good. So guys, have a wonderful week. I'm going to immediately announce the next week, and thank you so much for thinking about me, and my apologies for being late. And in the end, it turned out great. I really like this. No agenda. Let's chat around. And so we should do this more. So I think the next time we still can kind of like, I don't know, the next time I might do the monthlies for November. So that way we can kind of goof around the next 2 times, or I can skip it and do it on 22nd, on 23rd. So we will see it. Let's see how it is. Let's see, what is this? Woo! Contractor is on his way back. Look at that. What a great timing. Love you, and I will talk to you guys next week. Have a beautiful and great week. I'll talk to you soon.